Shalom Israel, giving all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. That's our God, the Heavenly Father, through his only begotten Son, his first begotten Son. Double honors to the elders and CMS who grew well, who taught us his knowledge and truth and their faith. Salutation to you, Akim, out there pushing this word, risking your freedom and your life to do so. So, this is going to be a quick hitter. I've been kind of MIA because, work situation. So, I'm just going to get straight into it. This is from RT.com. Says no rational human being can talk of a nuclear war. Imran Khan to RT. Now, contrary to popular beliefs, there is talks of nuclear war, even though it's not shown on TV. And I'm here to tell you, it's prophetic. It's through the spirit, through the scriptures, that this is supposed to happen. So it says the further escalation between Shalakia. All right, so this is the Pakistani PM, which is Prime Minister Imran Khan, talks Kashmir and other issues in an exclusive interview with RT's Paula Slyer. It says the further escalation between nuclear-armed rivals India and Pakistan may lead to an unimaginable fallout, so the world must intervene to help avoiding that. Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan told RT in an exclusive interview, the explosive situation in Kashmir could escalate, explosive, no pun intended, way beyond the Indian subcontinent. So it said this could escalate way beyond the Indian subcontinent, meaning it could happen worldwide. It says Khan told RT's Paula Slyer he reminded that it would be the first time two nuclear-armed countries come face to face after the Cuban crisis of 1962, right? Because in the Cuban crisis, this was a big scare of a nuclear war. Where at that time, it was nuclear, but it was smaller nukes, which was atomic bombs. It says no rational human being can talk of a nuclear war, right? Because at this point, it's beyond rational. This is God's will. So let me get this. Isaiah 9:5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. So every war that was fought in history, there was always garments or clothing. Clothing is the same way of saying a garment. Clothes rolled in blood, meaning it was soaked in blood because people would lose their arms, their head, limbs, okay, all type of body parts. Their guts would come out from penetration of a sword or an arrow. So all wars were fought with confused noise, meaning all crazy sounds from a distance. But it says, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. So this war is going to be fought specifically of nuclear missiles. Okay. So what he said is actually biblical. And Isaiah prophesied it um, in his book of Isaiah, 9th chapter, 5th verse. You see? It says, you see, so this is Isaiah 50, I started 39. Therefore, wild beasts of the desert, with the wild beasts of the island shall dwell there, and the owls shall dwell therein. Is that talking about after nuclear fallout and the smoke clears, America is going to be a complete desert. So, of course, when a desert comes, when the Lord makes this land a desert, you're going to have creatures that live in deserts dwelling the land. You see? Let's look at what a desert looks like. It's a desert. What? without the grass. So what would the Lord said his land is gonna look like this? Flat. Because that's just gonna be the level of devastation when a bomb drops. So continuing on, therefore the wild beasts of the desert with the wild beasts of the islands shall dwell there, and the owls shall dwell therein, and it shall be no more inhabited forever, neither shall dwell in from generation to generation. Verse 40, as God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighboring cities thereof, saith the Lord, so shall no man abide there, neither shall the Son of Man dwell therein. That's talking about America specifically. You see? Isaiah 13, verse 19. In Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, keyword for America, in US of A. The beauty of the Chaldees' excellency shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. And it's actual proof that Sodom existed. And Sodom was known for homosexuality, okay, wicked, perverse acts. You see? And they found the land where it was located. So let's look this up. Sodom and Gomorrah were two cities mentioned in the book of Genesis and throughout the Hebrew Bible, the New Testament, and the Deuterocanonical books, as well as the Quran and the Hadith. According to the Torah, the kingdoms of Sodom and Gomorrah were allied with the city of Admah, Zobon, and Bela. Bela. These five cities, also known as the cities of the plain, meaning off the coast, from Genesis and the authorized version, were situated on the Jordan River plain in the southern region of the land of Canaan, which is later known as Israel. The plain was compared to the Garden of Eden as being well watered and green. That's what it means. That's what the Garden of Eden means, like very plentiful uh, land full of green grass and water. That was the land. That was the Garden of Eden, and Eden meant paradise. Okay, which paradise means the habitation of the just or the righteous. So compared to the Garden of Eden as being well watered and green, suitable for grazing wild livestock, meaning they were able to feed cattle there because on a plain there was a lot of vegetation. So it says divine judgment was passed upon Sodom and Gomorrah and two neighboring cities which were consumed by fire and brimstone. Neighboring Zoar, which is Bela, was the only city to be spared. In Abrahamic religion, Sodom and Gomorrah have become synonyms with impenitent, impenitent sin and their fall with a proverbial manifestation of divine retribution. Okay, so what is it going to go in detail? Sodom and Gomorrah have been used historically in a modern discourse as metaphors for homosexuality, which a metaphor is a figure of speech that, for rhetorical effect, directly refers to one thing by mentioning another. So no, it wasn't a comparison. Okay, it wasn't a figure of speech. It was actual homosexuality, which is um anal sex, okay, same sex. That's homosexuality, which the Lord punished Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighboring cities about them for that same evil deed. And are the origin of the English word sodomite. So, what is a sodomite? Sodomy or burglary is generally anal sex. There you go. There you go. Look at that. Yeah. Or oral sex. Yeah? Between people or sexual activity between a person or a non-human animal, bestiality. Okay, so this is based upon exegesis, sodomy, anal sex. So even having it with a woman is considered sodomy. You know. So it says in the origin of English word sodomite or pejorative term for male homosexuals, and sodomy, which is used in a legal context to describe sexual crimes against nature, namely anal sex or oral sex, particularly homosexuality and bestiality. So it says this is the base upon exegesis of the biblical text interpreting divine judgment upon Sodom and Gomorrah as punishment for sin of homosexuality, though some contemporary scholars dispute this interpretation. So, Salakia for the struggle. So, beyond that, it says no rational human being talk of nuclear war, but this is what the Heavenly Father is going to do. He's going to speak of nuclear war through an actual nuclear fallout. So with that, I want to give a praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem of how it does. Double honors to the elders, Jim as a well, say to Aki. Until next time, Shalom.